Day. You wake up. And the life you were meant to build, the legacy you were meant to leave, is gone. Buried under wasted weekends. Energy drained by meaningless conversations. Dreams abandoned in the name of balance. You called it love. But love without movement is stagnation. And stagnation is the beginning of decline. If your relationship is making you weaker, it's not a relationship. It's a prison. One where the bars are soft. The chains are invisible. But the outcome is just as tragic. You were made for war. Not with people. But with limitation. With mediocrity. With the smallness this world feeds you to keep you tame. And the moment you choose peace over purpose, you start to lose. The man who survives this life is not the one who stays comfortable. It's the one who understands. Pressure is not pain. It's proof that he's growing. She'll tell you to slow down. She'll beg you to rest. But what she won't say is that her attraction dies with your drive. The same fire that drew her in. Your obsession, your vision, your purpose is the same fire she'll try to contain. Once she feels safe. And you'll be tempted to let her. Because love feels good. Because rest feels good. But you weren't made to feel good. You were made to do good. To become great. To build something that outlives you. And that kind of greatness? It costs. It costs sleep. It costs comfort. Sometimes, it costs connection. But it pays. In power. In clarity. In legacy. And when that becomes who you are. When your mission is the air you breathe. No woman. No comfort. No temporary affection can stop you. You rise when others fall. You build when others blame. You move when others sleep. And you become the man every woman desires. But only the worthy get to walk beside. If you don't lead, you will kneel. So don't kill your mission for comfort. Don't trade your future for warmth. The path you're meant to walk isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be eternal. Because here's the truth. In a relationship, there is no neutral ground. You're either leading or you're kneeling. You're either standing on the path you carved with your own hands, or you're dancing to the rhythm of emotions you don't even understand, hoping she'll stay if you just sway hard enough. But what you fail to see is this. The man who does not lead his life will eventually kneel before a woman who does not respect him. And yes, she might smile. She might play along. But deep inside, she's already gone. Not physically yet. But emotionally, mentally. She's miles away. Searching for the man she thought you were. Before you traded your backbone for access to her world. You thought love was about compromise. You thought relationships were about equality. But what no one told you is this. Someone always leads. And if you surrender that power, even in small moments, you begin to erode your own authority. Where should we go? Whatever you want. What do you think? I don't know, what do you feel? It sounds harmless. But every time you do it, she feels the shift. Not in words. In her body, in her instincts, in her gut. She may not say it. But what dies in that moment is attraction. The invisible respect she once had for you evaporates. She wants a man who knows where he's going. Even if she argues. Even if she challenges the route. Because deep down, there's nothing more attractive than a man who is immovable in his purpose. But most men? They crumble. They over-explain. They beg for peace. They sacrifice clarity just to avoid tension. And in doing so, They become completely replaceable. She doesn't need another friend. She doesn't need another helper. She doesn't need another man begging for validation on every decision. She needs a foundation, a force, a structure. A man who says, "This is what I'm building. This is who I am. This is where I'm going. You're welcome to come. But I'm going regardless." That's not control. That's direction. That's identity. Confidence so deep that even her doubt cannot shake it. And if you fail to lead, if you keep dancing around her emotions, hoping to guess the right move, you'll become like most men, who give everything and still lose her. Not because they weren't good enough, but because they refused to be great. Because they chose peace over power. Because they let her run the show and called it love. But let me make this clear. Love without leadership is chaos. Love without clarity is just noise. And the man who doesn't know who he is will always kneel before those who do. You want her to respect you? Then walk like a man she has to catch up to. Speak with words you don't need to defend. Move with purpose no opinion can disrupt. And watch what happens. She may resist it. She may push against it. But if she is worthy, she will rise to meet you. And if she doesn't? You do not chase. You do not plead. You continue. Because you're not here to be accepted. You're here to build something. And building requires leadership. And if you don't lead, someone else will. Her emotions. Society. Fear. Confusion. And that path will never lead to strength. Lead your life, or be led into a life that will bury your potential. Detachment is power. The most dangerous man alive? It's not the one who's angry. It's not the one who's loud. It's not even the one who has power in his hands. It's the man who can walk away. The man who wants, but doesn't need. The man who gives, but never depends. Detachment is power. The most dangerous man alive? It's not the one who's angry. Not the one who's loud. Not even the one with power in his hands. It's the man who can walk away. The man who can look into the eyes of the most beautiful woman he's ever met and still say no if she crosses his standards. That's power. Because detachment is not apathy. It's control. It's the ability to feel everything and still choose logic. To desire deeply and still choose discipline. Most men will never reach this level. Because they've built their entire identity on being wanted. They only feel alive when they're chosen. They only feel whole when she stays. So they bend. They comply. They sacrifice. They become agreeable shadows of the men they once aspired to be. And they call it compromise. But compromise without respect is just weakness in disguise. And detachment? That's the antidote. When you detach, you don't stop caring. You stop begging. You stop shrinking. You stop accepting half-truths, emotional instability, and hot-cold games as love. You rise. You walk. You speak less and do more. You observe. You decide. You exit when your peace costs too much. And that shift. That frame that says, I am enough, with or without this. That's what draws real respect. That's what separates boys from kings. And yes, she will test it. She will question your silence, your stillness, your standards. Not because she wants to break you, but because she wants to believe you are real. That your strength isn't just a performance. That your power isn't just for attention. And detachment proves it. When you detach from outcomes, you become dangerous because you're no longer held hostage by emotion. You're no longer negotiating your values for connection. You simply choose what aligns and walk away from what doesn't. And in that space, you win. Not by forcing anyone to stay, but by making staying a privilege. You don't need her to love you. You love yourself too much to chase someone who doesn't. And when she feels that, she'll either run or she'll rise. Either way, you win. Because you're not here to be needed. You're here to be respected. And detachment, not dominance, creates that respect. Validation is not victory. You keep checking your phone, don't you? Scrolling for a like, a message, a sign, something, anything that tells you you're seen. You're enough. You matter. And when she finally replies, when she says your name again, you breathe like she gave you oxygen. Like you were drowning. And her attention was air. But that's not life. That's addiction. That's enslavement to something that was never meant to sustain you. You were not made to be validated by the world. You were made to validate yourself. Through action. Through discipline. Through legacy. But here you are. Living like a beggar. Hands out. Hoping someone finally claps for you. Finally chooses you. Finally says, you're the one. But hear this. As long as you need it, you'll never get it. Because validation cannot be chased. It's a byproduct of becoming undeniable. The man who builds quietly, sharpens relentlessly, speaks only when it's worth hearing. He gets validation he doesn't even ask for. Because it follows strength. It follows truth. But most men, they're performing for applause they haven't earned. They confuse looking good with being good. They think she'll stay because they tried hard. But she doesn't stay for effort. She stays for energy. The kind of energy that says, I don't care if you see me. I see me. That man? The man who validates himself. Every time he says no to distraction. Every time he wakes up early. Finishes the rep. Closes the loop. Disciplines the craving. That man cannot be ignored. Not because he's loud. But because his life is undeniable. You want to stop being ignored? Stop looking outward. Start building inward. Every time you chase her approval, you lower your value. Every time you wait for her to notice, you delay your growth. Your power begins the moment you stop needing applause. And when you get there, you'll laugh. Because you'll realize, validation was never the prize. Victory was. And victory belongs to the man who builds without permission. She won't save you. You must build yourself. You keep waiting for her to show up. Like it's a movie scene. Arms open. Tears in her eyes. Words on her lips that fix everything you ever doubted about yourself. But she won't. She can't. Because it was never her job to save you. It was yours. And every second you spend hoping, praying, fantasizing that she'll come back and love you the right way is a second you waste in the waiting room of your own potential. You think she'll return because you were good. Because you meant well. Because you gave everything. But love doesn't reward effort. It rewards energy. And energy only flows when a man builds himself. Piece by brutal piece. In the face of pain. In the absence of applause. In the chaos of a life that doesn't care how you feel. No one is coming to save you. Not your parents. Not your friends. Not her. And especially not the girl who left you when you needed her most. If she could have saved you, she would have. But she didn't. And she won't. So what will you do? Sit in self-pity? Scroll through her new life? Wonder what you did wrong? Or will you stand up? Not because you're healed. Not because it's easy. But because you finally realize your life is not a romance. It's a war. And the battlefield is your own mind. Your habits. Your values. Your discipline. Your choices. Every day you have two options. Build yourself. Or bury yourself. And the man who chooses to build, even when it hurts, even when it's quiet, even when no one's watching, that man becomes unstoppable. Not because he's special, but because he finally understood. No woman, no feeling, no fantasy can give him what he refuses to give himself. You want to be loved? Become a man who loves his life. You want to be seen? Become a man who stands so tall that ignoring him feels unnatural. You want to win? Then stop asking to be saved. And start building a version of yourself. So solid, so complete. So damn undeniable. That saving is no longer even necessary. That's when you'll be ready for her. Not the one who left. Not the one who lied. But the one who was. Always waiting. For the man who finally became his own hero. You've heard it now. No filters. No lies. No fairy tales. Just the truth they've hidden from you. The truth that could have saved you from years of regret, betrayal, and confusion. But you're not too late. The Stoic relationship blueprint isn't just a book. It's your weapon. Your compass. Your armor. It's everything they never told you. About how to lead. How to protect your mission. How to spot deception. And how to finally take back control of your relationships and your life. It's linked in the comments. And once you own it, it's yours. For life. No more waiting to be chosen. No more losing yourself to be loved. No more lies. If you're ready to become the man no one dares to manipulate, comment Stoic Blueprint right now. Grab the ebook. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Because every second you delay is another year of pain. For the man you could have saved. And that man is you. This channel is your home now. And together, we're saving men. One truth at a time.